Welcome everyone to a little bit of light, awaiting Moshiach. I'd like to go back to discuss the 12th principle of the 13 principles that Rambam Maimonides lists as our principles of faith. And the 12th principle deals with Moshiach. But let's examine it some more. The 12th principle is Yemais HaMashiach, the days of Mashiach. V'hu Emunah, it is the belief, v'ha'imus, and the acceptance of it as the truth, al bayoi, regarding his coming, v'she'ena misacher, and that he does not, let's translate it as, come late. That means that we believe with the fullest belief that he will come, and that it will not be late, which means he will not, so to speak, needlessly be late. That means when it's time for him to come, he's going to come. He's not just going to be late in coming. When the time comes, he's going to come. And then Rambam quotes actually a pasuk, a verse from the prophet Habakkuk, Im mismama, if he is late, if he tarries, chakeloi, wait for him. That means that if the situation is a situation where you expect for him to come, you want him to come, and he's not coming, chakeloi, wait for him. Now, this is a very interesting idea. We're being told not just to believe in his coming, but if he's not coming, or rather, even if he's not coming when you would like him to come, but don't give up. Chakei, wait for him. Now, what's interesting is that when we deal with all the other principles of faith, these are matters of faith. There's a list of things. We recite them at the end of Shachar, end of the morning services. You'll find in a siddur the 13 Ani Mamins, the 13 declarations of I believe with complete faith, which are based on these 13 principles of the Rambam. The Rambam didn't write those Ani Mamins, the text for that, but whoever wrote it based on the 13 principles of Rambam. And the Rambam is saying that even if he, and as the pasuk says, even if he delays, if he's not coming when you want him to come, chakeloi, wait for him. All the other principles are matters of faith. You believe, or chas v'shalom, you don't believe. But here, it's more than just believing that Mashiach is going to come, but rather there is an idea of chakei, of waiting for him to come. And the point is that even if he's not coming, he doesn't seem to be coming, when is he going to finally come? Chakei, wait. You should wait for him. Don't give up, but wait. Not just don't give up and believe, but wait. That's something more positive. There's something more to it than just believing. And actually, the Gemara tells us in Shabbos that one of the questions a person will be asked after 120 years here in this life, see, Pisa Yeshua, did you await the salvation? See, Pia doesn't just mean to believe. It means you're waiting for it. You're yearning for it. So did you hope for the salvation? Why is it important to be waiting and to be hoping and to be yearning? All the other principles of faith are principles in which we believe. Here, we're being told there's more than just believing. There is awaiting Mashiach. Why? So there is a wonderful book. It's given up from Art Scroll called Ani Mamin, A Mission for Life, written by Rabbi Yecheskel Elias. And he addresses this question in the following way. If any of us would be asked as to what are we waiting for when Mashiach comes? What are we expecting? What's the world going to be like? What's going to happen when Mashiach comes? Our initial reaction would probably be that all the suffering and problems in the world are going to end. No more wars, no more strife. There will be peace, there will be tranquility. It's going to be utopia. That is what seems to be how people would assume that what there's coming to Mashiach is about. Well, if that's what Mashiach coming is about, the question we asked before is even stronger. If the whole point of Mashiach is to solve our problems, so I have to wait for that? And what if I don't have so many problems? What if the situation with the Jewish people is one where things are going very well? What am I waiting for then? Oh, it's going to be even better? That may be, but that's what I have to wait for? So Rabbi explains with a parable to understand what truly a waiting for Mashiach is about, or what are the days of Mashiach truly about. And his parable is, imagine a person who's running a business. He's investing a lot of money in the business. He's paying good salaries to his workers, to his employees, but nothing's going well in the business. The employees are lazy. They're not doing their jobs. They sit around drinking coffee a whole day, making fun of the person who's running the business, investing his money in the business, paying them even though they're not working as they should. That's part of the parable, that although they're not working and not really doing their jobs, he's still paying them. He's still giving them a livelihood. So you've got this business, the workers aren't doing their jobs, things aren't getting accomplished, they're making fun of the boss and the financier of the business. And here you are, the child of that financier, of the person running the business, investing in the business, paying these people, and you see how it's not happening. The workers aren't working. They're ridiculing your father who's running this business. Wouldn't that hurt you? Wouldn't that bother you? Wouldn't you yearn for a time when all these people can get their act together? Oh, and I really should add to the parable. And not only are they not working and making fun of the boss or the person who's running the business, investing in the business, anybody who's doing their job somewhat properly, they're ridiculing. They're making fun of him. They may even try to stop him from doing their job properly. What a disaster. If you were the child of that person who owns that business, and you'd see that he's still paying all these people, you'd be very bothered by the situation and pained by it. Well, we can look at the world, even a world that things seem to be in order. Maybe we're not suffering, but just take a look at the world. Hashem created the world for those in this world to serve him. That's the best thing that can happen to them. And the majority of people aren't doing that. The vast majority of the people in the world aren't doing that. Many of them don't even believe, a good amount of them don't even believe in God. And even if they do believe in God, they certainly aren't serving him the way they should. And even those who try and affirm their allegiance to Hashem and affirm their belief in Hashem and in his Torah are very often lacking in their service to Hashem. So if you take a look at the world, and here, if you take a look at the world in relation to how things are going for Hashem, so to speak, or how is the world running in the way it's supposed to run according to the will of Hashem, there's a lot lacking. But when Mashiach comes, that's all going to straighten out. Even those who don't believe will believe. And everyone will begin to serve. And everyone will recognize that Hashem is the Almighty who runs the world. It's his world. And the Jewish people, those who serve Hashem, they will be elevated. People recognize who they truly are. They are the chosen nation of Hashem. The world will then come into the state of a being in the way that Hashem wants it to be that way. So therefore, it's not enough for us just to believe in the coming of Mashiach, just to believe that, and it's not enough just to believe, because the purpose, the point of Mashiach's coming is that the world will now be in a state of where Hashem really wants it to be. Of course, the world is always in the state of what Hashem wants it to be. But we will be able to see a world in which Hashem's name is truly sanctified. That's the purpose of the world, and that's what we yearn to be part of. We yearn to see that. We yearn to see that not for us, not because of what we're going to gain from it, but we yearn because our Father in heaven will finally be treated and honored and glorified and served in the way he should be. So we have to yearn for that. If we don't yearn for that, then we're missing the point. Because the point is not just Moshiach should come and everything should come back together and everything should come back together again. Everything should fall into place. Because if that's what it is, okay, I'll wait. I'll wait for it. I believe it'll happen. But it's not enough just to believe it's going to happen. It has to be that you want it to happen. Because otherwise, we're missing the point. We're missing the point if we're not yearning for the coming of Mashiach. That means that we're not yearning for the true manifestation of Hashem's honor. And that's why we have to wait. So even in a situation where things are pretty good, I'm not suffering, people aren't suffering, even then, is the world anywhere near it should be in its service of Hashem, its dedication to Hashem? That is what we're yearning for. That's what we're waiting for. We're waiting for a world in which Hashem will truly be glorified. In a world that our Father in heaven will truly be honored. That's what a child wants for a parent. And if we wait for it needs to now, even if it's not happening right away, it's not happening when we think it should happen, when we hope it should happen. But chakei, wait. Don't just believe, but wait and yearn. Because then that shows that we understand what Mashiach is truly about. When we don't have Mashiach, Hashem's name is desecrated. Desecrated. That's the way it is now. And we yearn for the for the time where we can be part of a world that Hashem's honor, our Father's honor, will truly be manifest. Hashem's name will be sanctified and truly glorified. Thank you for listening. This has been a little bit of light. Have a wonderful Shabbos.